part of another stream. You got the like button to weigh in. Hey, gang, y'all know what to do. So, all right, so as you see in the title, LeBron James reminds me of. Sound like an old Usher song. You remind me of. But so I actually have two comparisons I have for Bronny James. So comparison one is actually going to be no other than, so before I even reveal, let me say this. So Bronny reminds me from a skill point perspective and a growth perspective of a certain person. Now from a media creation, from a media or from a legacy standpoint, he actually reminds me of someone else, and I'm going to talk about the other person. I'm actually going to put a video out, so y'all stay tuned. That's a teaser right there. So we see we are too deep. Hit the like button, please. All right, so the first person who LeBron James Jr. game remind me of, that's actually going to be me. That's going to be me. And so before I made this video, I called one of my former teammates, my guy Between the Game Sports. His name is Will Johnson in real life. I laid out my thesis real quick. It was a quick conversation. I was like, so what do you think about that comparison? And he said, yeah, it's pretty spot on. So I got to, how they say, the thing of affirmation. So the reason why I say that is because when I watched Bronny James play for these last two games in the Summer League, I see a few things. Now, one, I see a kid that has potential to possibly be something one day. And as a matter of fact, ironically, in high school, that same, my same homie I mentioned, Will, his dad told me my senior year of high school that he's like, Cliff, your best years of basketball are ahead of you. He told me this my senior year. And so I went on, if you guys don't know my story, I played professional basketball. I went on to play Division I basketball, been a 1 year letterman on varsity. So the parallels I see with me and Bronny are this. When I was a senior, I was the fourth best player on my team, arguably fifth. Now, I went the furthest of everybody when the story was told, but at the time, I was the fourth or fifth best player. Bronny James was the fourth best player on this team. And in fact, his senior year, he got second team all conference and mysteriously became a five-star kid, from what they say, and became a McDonald's All-American when there were more deserving kids, right? So that shows you kind of like the context of you not necessarily being, one of the top players, but having talent, having skill. Y'all hit the like button. So Bronny James also, when I watch his game. Now, when I played, me and Bronny did not play the same position. I was 6'6", 160 some odd pounds. I BS y'all not. I was a skinny, rangy post player. So when I basically came into my own, I played like him the exact same way. When I watch Bronny play, watch most possessions, he's out the way, he fades to the corner and kind of waiting on action to come. Very high basketball IQ, meaning he knows how to make the right play, but not a lot of individual game. So when you watch him play now, he'll give you a nice little, I would say game one, he had a nice little step back, step back behind the back, little combo, nice little jumper, but he took 9 shots, made 2 of them, just not a lot of product. So yesterday, he only put up 3 points. And as you see, just a lot of blending to the corner, making the right pass, getting a rebound or 2, just being chippy, making a pass, playing some pretty good post defense, which made a highlight on ESPN, which is hilarious, which is another point. Like, ESPN has to stop highlighting Bronny with these little menial highlights because people aren't stupid. You can't be putting out these highlights like of him doing things that anyone could do. And I get it, man. His name resonates with the culture, with basketball. I get it. But when you're showing these highlights that an 8-year-old guy, come on, man, what are we talking about? What the hell are we talking about? But getting back to the subject matter at hand, when I was in, my senior year of high school, that's what I was. Like, I was a post player. At the like button. I was a post player, but I kind of was out the way guy. Like, I didn't really need the ball to feel like I, belonged on the court. I would make high IQ plays. I would rebound pretty well, get a steal here every now and again, a block, and then if I got a chance to get a dunk, I was pleased as punch. Like, I just didn't. It didn't really I didn't want any more from the basketball experience past that, because I knew I played with guys who were better than me. I knew I played with guys who I had synergy with, so I was cool with just letting them get their thing on, and I got mine when I got it. Now, I juxtaposed that from when I was a senior in college, playing at Prairie View and University, small D1. I was a whole different player, man. I want that goddamn ball. I remember just, in the post, again, 6'7". I bulked up to about 220, I think, at my top playing weight. So we're going from 160 to 220 from 17 years old to 23 years old. Turn around, dunking on people. And one day I'm going to put my hoop jogging high on there. I'm going to put it up. I got a Pope. I showed him a few of my highlights. I mean, you put that out there, Larry, so I'm going to do that one day. But anyway, once I matured, I got to around 23 years old, I was a whole different player. And when I went overseas to play ball, in Europe, I was a whole different monster. So I want to give Bronny some grace, because at the finish line, you can become a different player when you see enough repetitions. When you see enough opportunities, like, you know what, hey, I'm kind of sheepish right now. I'm kind of timid right now. I want to do the right play. I want to make the right move. To like, these dudes can't F with me. And it takes a few years for some people. Now, some people just off the gate ready to go. They off the gate ready to go. But what I'm saying is, basketball is a game within a game. You have the element of natural ability, natural skill. Y'all hit the light button. We AD. Come on, what y'all doing? But you also have mental development. The human brain actually does not reach full development to about 25. So that's why you see with your NBA players, they don't become who they really are till around 25. I think we're seeing that play out right now with your boy Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. They're now getting into their real mental state, right? So I think Bronny has a lot of potential to be somewhere, to become something, but I got to keep it real. As a Laker fan, I ain't got no patience for this shit. I ain't got no patience for this. Because what I'm saying is a dude who actually needs development. To kind of bring it back to my story. My freshman year, I walked on at Stephen F. Austin State University. That's not an easy thing to do. And I learned again that I was not D1 level yet. Because, and shout out to my guy, Antonio Burks, he is the father of Sonya Burks, who led the nation in scoring this year. She's a freshman at Texas State University now. But Burks was a junior when I was a freshman at Stephen F. And no diddy, he bust my ass that first day of practice. Like, I never knew that a guy, because Burks is about 6'5", chunky, left-handed, can shoot. He shoots at a very high, arc. He has an impossible three-point shot to block. And I just thought, in high school, you don't face a lot of bigs with range like that, with offensive prowess like that. Most of them be on the basket, so you can sag off. So I had my welcome to D1 moment against Burks, but that level set me though. Then I knew that, okay, this level ain't for me yet. I'm gonna get there, because I was confident, but at the same time, it humbled me. And I think what we're seeing right now with Bronny playing at the NBA level, on the summer league level, is humbling his fans. I don't think he has real expectations for himself, to be honest. I think his dad has put him in position. Listen, I'm cool with that on his face, that your dad is putting you in the best position to succeed. That's a good thing. The only thing is, me as a Laker fan, no. You could have not drafted this kid, picked him up on a two-way contract, and throw this MF in the doggone G League. Like, what are we doing? This is not an NBA player we looking at. So I respect the time for development at the light button. But at the same time, as a Laker fan, I know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at me. I'm looking at me. Jay Watt says the Lakers going to be a bad team for a while. Yeah, I mean, we are basically in a proverbial chokehold via Clutch Sports. And this is funny, man, because 2 years ago, this is like utter and complete conspiracy theory of speaking on how Clutch Sports has their tentacles on all of the goings-ons of what the Lakers got going and who we bring in and who's going to be a viable candidate and who this, that, and the third. Now we're seeing with the report coming out, Bob Myers, with that revelatory report, he said that he called them teams and said, y'all better not draft him or he's going to Australia. Oops. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. So now it's real to people now, but if you've been, having two eyes that can see with, let's say, 20/30 vision and above, and ears that work properly, you've known that they've been doing this. Anthony Davis, anybody? Hello? Anthony Davis, anybody? You can't just go and extract a guy from a team. And look at the circumstances real quick, just so I can lay down the foundation properly. Literally, Anthony Davis got poached from New Orleans because the current GM the GM at the time, a brother, I forget his name, he didn't want to make the trade. The owner did not want to make the trade. So what happens? They brought David Griffin from Cleveland, LeBron's former GM, to be the GM over there in New Orleans and execute the trade. Y'all got to understand, man, it's a lot of stuff at play. The NBA is an entertainment-based league. Let me say that again. An entertainment-based league. So a lot of things that you see as fair or unfair, they don't give a shit about your opinion. What they care about is, does this bottom line align with this objective? So whatever in between doesn't matter. So will they tamper with things? Absolutely. Did Chris Paul trade anybody that didn't happen to my Lakers? All right, so shout out to my guy, Sir Tice. Good to see you, brother. Good for business, absolutely. Damon Johnson says, my thing is strongest kid, but level of pressure can be facing can stunt his growth. Well, listen, man, it's a saying the old school says that pressure busts pipes. So if you can't handle the pressure, then listen, it wasn't for you to begin with. So I'm not afraid of that, because this kind of reminds me of the Lonzo Ball thing. Listen, if you're saying LeVar's putting too much pressure on him and he can't handle it, then guess what? He's not a pro. And eventually Lonzo shook it off and become who he is now. We know as far as injuries, the last 2 years, we have not seen a lot of product. But down the road, he became a good iteration. Well, he's going to become a better iteration. He's fixed his jump shot. So we'll see how that plays out. He's playing this year. But, from what we saw before he got hurt, playing for the Lakers, he was doing his damn thing, playing with LeBron, which is not an easy thing to do, being a on-ball point guard. And then, for the Pelicans, he perfected his three-point shot. And with the Bulls, you kind of saw the better iteration of what he can be before that second injury. So we will see. We will see. Tice says, good for business in what way? Well, here's what's going to happen. If you have not been noticing on ESPN, they've been promoting the hell out of Bronny, showing some BS highlights. Why is that? Because that's going to make people click. And when you keep clicking, you're going to have a vested interest in that product or that bullshit-ass California Classic. And I say that respectfully because, listen, basketball is basketball is basketball. But on his face, there's no guys in there that you want to watch the Summer League for. But what you will do is see what Bronny's got going. So it's kind of like Angel Reese. Sometimes I see Angel Reese highlights, I'm just like, what the hell is this? But Angel Reese has a swell of fan base who will come and patronize the product because they, for whatever reason, they back her. We know the Caitlin Clark thing, and I don't want to compare Bronny to Caitlin Clark, so I don't want to go that extreme. But with the Angel Reese thing, I think it's more apropos of what Bronny is. And not even, because I think Angel Reese is a real candidate for the Rookie of the Year, and I think we all can see Bronny James ain't going to be that. But what I mean is a player who has a lot to be desired, a lot of meat on the bone, a lot of development needs to happen. You have to like the button. And so I like this comment. Every show need dog fight. Okay, so here's my major critique on Bronny. So Bronny actually reminds me of an AAU baby, or a cone drill baby, what I call them. So cone drill babies lack that intestinal fortitude. Like they got all the moves, they got all the, the basketball know-how, but the actual things that actually make you a tough basketball player, there's a little lacking. So when I watch Bronny play, I don't see a guy who, for lack of better terms, is very well versed in street ball. You know, in street ball, it's just like, man, put your head down, give me the ball, and get out the way. So if there was a critique for Bronny, yeah, I definitely think he needs to improve in that capacity. Because, yeah, man, absolutely. Bray says Angel Reese can play. I mean, yeah, yes and no. Angel Reese is a extreme hustler. But if you look at the skill set, it's just not there. It's not there. But to her credit, with her limited skill set, she's made a lot for herself in her WNBA career. So I can't take that away from her. But I also see a person who can't shoot, who does not have no face-up game, who only can go right, but is left-handed, which is the most weird ambidextrous story I've ever seen. So she got a lot that she got to fix. Let me put it that way. Let's see. Everybody been getting on Bronny, man. Dude got a strong mind. Well, I mean, look, he's been a public fixture for the better part of, 8th grade to now? So I'm sure his dad has prepared him for, what people are going to say. So we 11 deep, man. Come on, like button. What y'all doing? We got 3 lights. What y'all doing? I think his dad has mentally prepared him for, people going to say things about you. And I think that that's a good thing, man. Your dad should shield you from the world. Your dad should say, listen, you know who you are. You know what we are. People's opinions are people's opinions, and I would respect that. But again, let me put my Lakers cap back on. My Lakers fan cap. I ain't trying to hear that bullshit. I need a real product. If you're going to build them up to be this, I need to see a real product. I just do. And what I'm seeing again is a timid player who, with time, can possibly be something. Everybody throwing in 3 and D, but I would challenge you to this. Go look at Josh Hart in his summer league debut, playing with Lonzo, B.I., I'm going to say Embiid, Ingram, Zubac, and your boy Caruso, 2017. I think Josh Hart is Bronny's ceiling. Josh Hart was coming out hard. He was coming out like he wanted it. When I watch Bronny, again, it's just timid. It's just like, I know where to be, I know how to play, but there's no sizzle. There's no want. There's no want to. And I seen Cameron and Mace had a funny take on that, and it's true. It's just too much smiling going on. And some people can pull that off, man. Like Carmelo Anthony, his whole year at Syracuse, he had that thing where he would bust your ass for 30 and just smile the whole game. And it's almost like one of them, because he's from Baltimore. It's one of them devilish smiles. But everybody can't pull off that up and up persona. At some point, you gotta lock in. At some point, you gotta be like, yo, I'm about to take your face off. And to want that from Bronny at 19, I get it. That's a little early. But at some point, when is it gonna be? Because what I do see from tangible things is you got this kid locked in with a 4-year guaranteed deal, meaning he's going to be a fixture for the long-term foreseeable future for the Lakers. And I got to say this too. You can tell what a player is by how people compliment them. And when I watch Rob Pelinka and JJ Redick introduce and talk about Bronny James, that sounds like some 5th place ribbon shit. And by that I mean, when somebody wins 5th place, well, at least you tried, man. You did a great job out there. And I hear them say, oh, high character guy, works hard. Listen, if you coach basketball and the best thing you got to say about a kid is high character, works hard, you got a project. Because when you got a player, let me hit you with this. Go listen to Deion Sanders talk about Travis Hunter and Shiloh Sanders, his 2 sons. Now listen, Shiloh is very talented, but he ain't no goddamn Travis Hunter. What Prime usually says when he talks about Shiloh, is, man, yeah, he can go out there and hit somebody. He ready to go hit somebody. When he talks about Travis Hunter, his surrogate son, yeah, man, Travis him. Man, Travis do what he want to do. You know, Travis remind me of me. You know, hey, he can do what he want to do. So you see the juxtaposition of compliments because you know the talent level. Listen, Shiloh, good safety, might make it low rounds next year's draft in the NFL. Travis going top 5. So when you listen to understand, you know that Rob Pelinka and J.J. Redick are selling you a bill of goods. It's evident. He said Bronny at his floor is Davion Mitchell. His floor? Nah, hell no. His floor? You talking about established guard defender? You say his floor? Nah. He's taller than Davion Mitchell. I think Davion Mitchell's like 5'10" or something like that. But you're not guaranteed to be that. What you talking about? No. True. I see him. There's a guy, talent, to barely be on the league. I just hope his dad doesn't play. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, man. I'm not here to disparage Bronny, man. But what I am is, and I hope y'all appreciate about my content, I'm not a sensationalist. I'm going to tell you what I see. And you know what? And I back my opinions up because I call coaches. I call scouts. I'm like, okay, am I out of pocket with this take? Am I out of bounds with this take? Is this off scope? Is this off, what the consensus is? And on this one right here, on point. Josh Hart does dirty work, but he does a decent defender, but he doesn't. Yes, exactly, Thunder. And that's kind of my biggest thing I see with Bronny is that he doesn't get dirty. And guys who, if you're going to tell me you're a 3-and-D guy, you got to get dirty. And I watch Bronny walk so much, jogging, kind of, and if you guys watch off ball, so when I watch basketball, if I'm watching for a specific player, I tend to not watch the other players I'm watching specifically. I'm watching how a coach would look at film to give an individual film breakdown to a player. So when I watch Bronny, his body language stinks. And by that I mean, when someone shoots the ball, like if he's not in the general vicinity, he won't even try at all to go get the rebound. He won't try at all. He'll just sit there and just wait for the action to happen, i.e. the rebound, and go run back down up opposite side of the court. And my thing is, if you are sold to me as a hustle guy, as a 3-and-D guy, see, film don't lie. You go bust your tail to go get those rebounds and bust your tail, at least to give effort. Here's what starts happening. Your effort is infectious. And other people will start to do what you're doing. And even though Bronny, from his game standpoint, don't match up with the talent at court, his effort could be infectious. How do we know this? You seen your boy Alex Caruso. One thing that was infectious with him, even at Texas A&M, was he was going to hustle to the ball. I remember watching the game where Texas A&M came back in the NCAA tournament. Him and your boy Daniel House. They were down like 6 points with like 30 seconds and came back and won the game. And I remember vividly, Alex Caruso was busting his ass in that game to like get late game steals and kind of get it going. And his teammates fed off that. And then they ended up winning a game they had no business winning. And that bled into his NBA situation. Whereas he was going out there doing stuff that nobody would want to do, that junkyard dog mentality. So a guy who's only 6'2", I want to say athletically limited. I mean, he can dunk, but I mean, I could dunk when I was 6 foot, so they ain't saying much. But, a guy who doesn't have the physical gifts that God, divvies out, could go out there and basically impact a basketball game in levels that guys who are way more talented with a way better pedigree could do. And to me, Bronny, he has that opportunity because his skill set, in my opinion, is just not that high. It's just not that high. But like, where's the dog at though? Where's that in-between stuff? Where's that minutia that makes you to a great player because you're actually out there and doing things that other people won't do? Because what happens is that could carry you into being a high-level player because it got you to a rhythm. It works into a proverbial lather. Now you're a main fixture. Um, and guys like Pat Beverly come to mind. But if we're being frank, Pat Bev was putting up 20, damn near 30 points a game in Chicago in high school, right? You went to Arkansas putting up 20 plus. Bronny ain't done that yet, so it's like, okay, you don't have a pedigree of really busting nobody's ass. So what are you really gonna do next level to separate yourself? All right, Ty says, who the players you gonna listen to, LeBron or his podcast buddy? The problem is with Redick. The problem is you know where it's come from. Well, yeah. Well, because what seems to be the case is that JJ Redick and LeBron are simpatico with self-promotion and self-aggrandizement. Could JJ Redick potentially one day be a great NBA coach? Maybe. Maybe. Because bench rider dudes tend to understand being, well, I'm not going to say JJ was a bench rider, but non-star players, let me say it that way. They tend to make for better coaches because they look at basketball from a non-myopic standpoint better than star players. And if you guys don't know what myopic means, comes from the word myopia, which means you see things only from your perspective. So guys who are ancillary players, i.e. role players, they tend to understand basketball from a level that I'm not the driving force. So I got to know how basketball works from helping others achieve a common goal. So could it potentially be down the road? Yes, it could. But as it stands right now, with the small window that LeBron has, this is the goofiest thing I've ever seen. And so, to answer your question specifically, where would this messaging come from? You know it's coming from his dad. Come on now. His dad got JJ his job. What we talking about? His dad got JJ his job. He has no ability. He has no ability to step in and supersede what his dad does, because here's how dudes do. Here's how people do. This is the people thing. Let's say JJ Redick is pitching some concept that LeBron ain't. He just ain't feeling. You be out of your mind and think LeBron James is not that kind of guy to say, "Hey man, I got you your job. I got you your job. Who you think you ought to tell my boy he can't do this, that, or third? Come on now, what are we talking about? Oh, let's see. Bronny isn't good enough to be a college starter. Let's be real. Absolutely. Well, I won't say he can't be a college starter. I've seen some bum-ass college starters, so I can't go that far. But what I can say is a college star player? Absolutely not. I'll meet you there. JJ, one of them dudes you can truly trust. You can never truly trust. Yeah, because he comes off to me as very Machiavellian. Machiavellian. He comes off to me as a dude who's very snide with his doings. And yeah, I would agree with that. J. Ray doesn't seem to have a coach's disposition. Well, that's yet to be determined. We'll see. Shout out to JJ Watts putting a 5 on there. Appreciate you, brother. He says, thanks for the content, man. This is better than whatever's on First Take right now. I appreciate it. Because again, my brand over here is going to be, I'm going to tell it to you real. I'm not going to sit here and placate to no thing. I have no loyalties to no entity to lie to you. I'm going to tell you what I see. Now, for some people, that's not good enough. You want to be on that this or that bandwagon. Like, I need to be a pro-Bronny guy or anti-Bronny guy. Listen, man, with most things in life, the truth is probably in the middle. So I can appreciate what Bronny brings to the table, at the same time give you a real critique of what I see of him, which is, again, as a Laker fan, I don't see a lot. And I watch these shows, to your point, Jay, they be up there just lying about this dude. See, I didn't expect this lie to be this long, but it's okay. They just flat out lying. They flat out lying. Talking about, yeah, well, you know, man, Keyshawn Johnson is the worst culprit of this. And he just be flat out lying. And listen, I like Keyshawn Johnson for his football takes. He's damn good at it. He's damn good at his football takes. But his actual Laker takes, his basketball takes, they're garbage. They're garbage, man. I listen to Keyshawn talk about, you know, well, the 55th pick, man, it could be anybody. You don't never know what somebody could be. And it's, you know, in a loose sense, in an obtuse sense, that could be so. But what you do is you get players who have the prerequisite talent to be something years down the line. Does that metric always work? No. But that doesn't mean you just take a flyer on a kid just because who his dad is. Because we seen Michael Thompson's second kid, Klay Thompson's brother, trash. They didn't draft him. They picked him up through free agency. It didn't work out. All right, take a hike. Blake Griffin's brother, Taylor Griffin. They took a flyer on him after the fact. They didn't draft him. Didn't work out. Hey, take a hike. DeMarcus Cousins' brother, shoot. Henny, it's my man Henny Smith. God damn it. I can't think his first name for nothing. J.R. Smith. His brother, I think his name was Chris Smith. Didn't work out. Take a hike. So it wasn't about these guys didn't get drafted. So I'm not against you taking a flyer because you think their genetic pool may help out. And I love this comparison that people say, oh, what about the Thanasis? What about the Thanasis? Now, do I think the Thanasis stinks? Yes. But the Thanasis, he got a name for himself for busting ass in that Greek league and busting ass in the G League. That's why he got drafted. Well, he got drafted before the G League performance, apparently. But he was busting ass. And he actually got drafted the year after Giannis, when Giannis was averaging 6 points a game. Giannis ain't had no pull back then. So this false equivalency of nepotism, I just don't understand how y'all come to these conclusions. Well, I do actually, because it's lazy comparisons. It's lazy. All right. JJ Redick has no coaching experience. Well, no, he did coach a fourth grade boys basketball team. So he coached one game in the league. Yeah, so, but I can't get too mad because I seen Derek Fisher get a job with no coaching experience. I seen Jason Kidd get one. Obviously, Kidd has turned to an NBA Finals level coach, and kudos to him. But you seen Derek Fisher, he got fired from coaching the goddamn the LA Sparks. It didn't always work out. But I've seen, guys given opportunity, is my point, opinion. Let's see. I'm seeing a lot of criticism about the Lakers drafting NBA's a place. Yeah, I mean, because listen, man. At the end of the day, we like the NBA because we think we're watching the best players in the world. I.e., it's a merit-based little ecosystem. So that's why people didn't like Darko Milicic being drafted back in the day. This is before the Euro movement, obviously. But at the time, Carmelo Anthony was obviously the best talent for the Pistons. And Tice, I know you're going to love this one. So, but you go and draft Darko because you think your team is so good that y'all going to be back winning again. Well, no, actually y'all won a championship that year. But you thought that he would be better for the long term. Whereas, in hindsight, it's all 2020. If y'all would have Melo, let him kind of slow develop, y'all would have had something that damn near, a decade and a half. So people can misfire, is my point. But at the time, the Serbian league, we didn't have a lot of information. Darko being 7 foot could potentially, do all these things. That was the sell. But if we're being honest, in the moment, everybody was killing the Knicks for that. I mean, the Pistons for that pick. So this is no different with Bronny. I don't think it's pocket because you've been hyping him up. Look at ESPN's timeline yesterday, watching them give his highlights. If we gonna keep it 55th, shout out to Crip Mac for the 55th pick. When the last time you see the 55th pick get that type of adulation? The answer is never. So it's fair that some people naturally gonna have some pushback. Let me know. Can you still hear me? Can somebody hear me? Can somebody hear me? Yes, no, maybe so. Okay, I see the doggone what's the name's popping up. Oh man, don't tell me I got in the stream. Man, I was just cooking. All right, well, I don't know if you guys can still hear me, but I got a phone call. It seemed to have messed me up. Oh, I'm good? Okay. All right, let me finish up then. All right, bet. Shout out to say I touch on that quick a little bit of time before work. I'm almost there, so I can slow roll in. It's kind of like when you're on your flight, you get into your descent in mode right now, so I can speak a little bit. If you guys know anything about LA, man, driving a 5 basically takes County. Man, it is its own. See, Thursday, what's the damn deal? I ain't got no issue with Bronny. He's clearly not ready to be a player. He's a G League player at best. He can develop more A. And that's pretty much been my sentiment. Listen, man, I'm not gonna land base the kid just off of strength. But as a Laker fan, no. No. I don't see the requisite talent to be a guy that's I need to be excited about. Now down the road, can that change? Of course. Of course it can. But as it stands right now, the answer is no. The answer is no. So again, for you guys coming in late, I juxtapose what Bronny is to what I was coming up as an athlete. What I was, being a guy learning the game from the fourth best player on my team like Bronny was in high school to being a professional athlete eventually. So what I'm saying is there's a chance he can figure it out. But at one point, that's why I didn't get a Division I scholarship coming out of high school because I just wasn't ready. I got a Division I walk-on opportunity, which I took advantage of. Well, then I learned the game, went to JUCO 2 years. Then I became a Division I athlete on scholarship. Then I became a pro. So, it's time. Shout out to NCCU dog, man. Good to see you, bro. So, I guess I'll land the plane here. So, I appreciate y'all being a part of the stream. On your way out, if you would so kindly tap that like button, come back through. And again, I got a video. I got another comparison to Bronny James. I think y'all gonna like this video. I'm gonna make it actually in the studio, so that'll be dropping within a week. So to next time. Okay, hold on. We got third. One more comment. LeBron stands think people saying Bronny ain't ready to pro level is a way to hate on LeBron. Yeah, I've been seeing that too. That LeBron defense by proxy, where you're basically using Bronny as a prop to prop up LeBron, because I gotta say this before I peace out. That LeBron storyline is dying like doggone Dogecoin in 2022. That stock is dying, dog. That stock is dying. And the sooner you get on, the better off you'll be. Listen, LeBron had a great ride, man. 2 decades plus of, for the most part, dominance. But as it stands right now, listen, the Lakers are in trouble. We don't have a lot of fixtures. So what you're seeing now is that ilk of fan is now looking for refuge somewhere else. So now you inject yourself in that Bronny storyline, and guess what? You got more to add to that fix. To that fix, that Bronny fix you need. You got more to add to that fix. We see y'all. But all right, man, that's all I got. About to hit the J. Talk to y'all soon.